Hi y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know who I is, I am Shirley. I grew a platform on TikTok primarily, grew up to 27,000 followers, then expanded on Instagram, and here I am on YouTube. I'm kind of like your big sis who went to law school and is trying to tell you all the ins and outs. So, um, so for today's video, I actually wanted to talk about something very common that happens, and a lot of people. I've made a video about this on TikTok very briefly, and it's just such a commonality to be a student, or let's say to be a paralegal working, and for you, someone who's interested in law school, to then be met with, "Oh, you shouldn't go to law school. Oh, law school? Oh man, don't go." That to encounter those type of sentiments from attorneys. So let's talk about it, right? Let's talk about it. This video, as you could tell, it's titled this way because I don't regret going to law school. And while it might be common for not for attorneys, I'm not an attorney yet, but for attorneys to tell you don't go, I am in the camp. I'm in the minority to not advise you to not go. But of course, with some exceptions, obviously, nothing goes completely warranted without some kind of caveat. So we'll talk about it. Okay, so let's get into it. So, why I don't regret going to law school and why I would not advise someone to not go. So, and obviously, this is based on my personal experience. So, if you're in those camp of attorneys who, you know, advise people not to go, this video is not for you. And I'm just sharing my personal experience. So, don't come at me. I first want to say, just based on my experience, who are these attorneys who are advising you not to go to law school? I do think primarily they are attorneys who, from my experience, from what I've seen, the trends, okay? Don't come at me. I've seen these attorneys be the type of attorneys who went straight from undergrad, from college to law school. They followed the big law route, and now they're in debt, six figures, like a $260,000 debt, and they don't like their job. They're working crazy amount of hours, and they just are miserable, and they don't want anyone to follow their steps and to be in a high intense, high hour job, working nearly every day, and then also knowing that they are in debt, so they have no other choice, and knowing as well that they just haven't received a break. They're burnt out from college straight to law school, straight to a big law job. I mean, I would be miserable too, maybe. Like, I mean, some people like that type of environment, like, of course, the money of it. But I do think, like, from my experience, I've met those attorneys, and those attorneys advise me not to go to law school. And those attorneys have advised me also to take gap years. Other ladder of it, if they haven't went straight from college to law school, if they are not working big law, the second ladder group of attorneys who have advised me not to go to law school are attorneys who have stayed for a long time in the same position at the same firm or organization for maybe an economic purpose. They're getting paid well or other purposes, but they are unhappy. They're unhappy with their life. They're unhappy with the hours, perhaps. They're unhappy with the work that they're doing. They don't feel fulfilled. And that is the other camp of attorneys who've advised me not to go to law school. If you fit in one of those camps, I mean, I don't blame you. I don't blame you for maybe thinking back at your life choices, or maybe saying, like, really, why did I have to choose the law school route? Why did I have to go through all of this to now not be happy in my position? And I think now it is maybe my type of responsibility to advise people not to follow my steps. I don't know. And I don't judge you for it. I think that the legal field is so expansive and everyone is entitled to their own opinion. But for me, I feel like my experience has been so unique. And mind you, I'm a recent law school graduate. I am only 7 months into working. So maybe down the line, I'll start regretting my decision to go to law school. But I don't think so. And these are the reasons why. And I do want to say, if you followed me on TikTok especially, I do want to say that I was there too, kind of. Like, I feel like through studying for the LSAT for so many years, then to going through law school for 3 years, then to studying for the bar exam, I really started to question my decision on why I did this to myself, and why did I choose this challenging career period, right? And I was in that camp. Like, I really was so transparent about how I felt through all of this, the sacrifices, the hardships, just it was a lot. It was a lot. And I also consistently was really scared that I was gonna regret my decision to go to law school depending on where I landed post grad. But the good news is that I think I landed in the right spot, and I do think that I don't regret my decision for the following reasons. So let's finally talk about it. So obviously, I do think my job plays a huge role in this. If you haven't seen that video of me talking about my job, please do so, because then you would know, why. But just a little bit in this video, I my job not only pays me a reasonable amount for New York City and for my education and for my experience. I make over six figures, but I work hybrid and I have work life balance. You tell me any attorney in the private sector that makes great, decent amount of money and then has work life balance. Waiting, yeah, it's very rare. If you do, you're lucky, you won the lottery. But I work for a company and versus a traditional law firm, and I genuinely like my job. I genuinely like my peers. I genuinely like my relationship with my boss. I feel like he gives me so much guidance, and I feel like I'm in a good place. Like, I genuinely just want to grow in my career in this field that I'm in and this company that I'm in. And I am making more than twice as much as I was making as a paralegal. So it has made such a huge difference in, like, just, being able to pay off my student loans, which I don't have that much of, comparing to like $260,000 of debt. I don't have nearly as much as that. But I just feel like I'm in a really good spot right now in terms of my job. That's number one, my job. Two, leading up to that, is my loans. I think I was very strategic before going to law school in deciding that I don't want to go into debt. That really scares me, especially as someone who is from a working class family. I just can't visualize myself taking that amount of debt because I have family obligations. So, in full transparency, I have less than $35,000 in student loan debt, and I don't think that's that's a lot comparing to, like, what a typical law school graduate graduates with. So yeah, I'm really thankful that I made that decision for myself. Third reason why I don't regret my decision to go to law school, I am a smarter person, period. Law school really does change the way that you think, the way you analyze, the way you read, the way you write. I have just become such a more well-rounded individual. I feel confident in my skills. I am still nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I'm still nervous about public speaking, but I know I could do it. I know I could do it. I know. And even now, like, my boss was telling me that there's a presentation opportunity for me to speak to our business unit, and I said yes. Like, I'm not gonna say no, of course, but I know that I'll have to prepare for that, and I'll be fine. Like, I just have to do it, and I just have to be prepared, and it'll work out. So I feel like a much more smarter, well-rounded person because of law school, and that's something that no one could take away from me. Like, no one could take away that I graduated from law school just smart. Like, I am smart just because of the education and the experiences that I've been able to have. Number four, in contrast to the attorneys that I've talked to in the beginning half of this video, I'm the type of person, if I'm unhappy, I'm a dip. If I'm unhappy, I'm gonna look for my other options. And granted, I will say that I am young, I don't have a family, I'm not married, so I do have a lot of flexibility and a lot of freedom to do that. But also, my decision to not get married and to not have kids at this stage of my life was very strategic as well, right? Like, life is so short. Like, why am I gonna live this life miserable? Like, and if I'm so miserable that I need a change, I'ma take that risk and I'ma change wherever I'm at. And that's just who I've always been. Like, I've always been that way. And I think maybe it's a Gen Z, I don't know what generation I'm in, honestly, but I think us younger generations, we will dip. Like, we will leave if we're unhappy. And so yeah, those are the four reasons why I don't regret my decision to go to law school. While in my early videos and throughout law school, I explained how much I maybe doubted my reason for going, or maybe I was unsure. Maybe I was like, what, is this worth it? I could say confidently now, because of my decisions and because where I'm at with my job and my career, I am so grateful for having graduated, having went, and I'm just living my life. I'm living my dreams. I'm living my dreams, and that is something that I'm very proud of. Okay, here goes the caveats though. Like, obviously, I'm not gonna say go to law school, go to law school, go to law school to everyone, to anybody in any situation. I'm gonna tell you right now from my videos, if you followed me for a long time, you would know that it is rough. Like, going through this process is no joke. It shouldn't be taken lightly. I do think that you need to think to yourself really, like, is law school for me? Can I do this? Am I willing to make these sacrifices? And is this really what I want for myself? Because if you're just going to law school for the money, babe, I'm telling you right now, like, you don't have to go through all of this to get that bag. Like, you could literally, there's so many other careers in finance, in business. You could go there and make your own bag. Like, money, for me at least, you ask me, money should not be the reason why you go to law school. Because the what is it? Like, the benefits and gains, the sacrifices, it doesn't equate if it's just for the money. Like, I'm telling you right now. So that's number one. Like, you think attorneys make a lot of money automatically, like, no matter what field, you're wrong. There's attorneys who dead ass make like $50,000 a year, and all the way to like the big law attorneys who make like 225, something like that. But there's like such a huge range. And so if money is the only thing, I just ask from you to do your research, find out what fields pay the best. If big law is your dream, then do it, of course, go to law school. Okay, number two, law school is expensive. And I do think like you need to like prioritize or think about how much debt are you willing to go into, how much debt is reasonable for your family, how much, like, it is a lot of money, especially these private law schools. That's why I went to an in-state public law school. And that's why, because I didn't know, like, I initially wanted to like work in immigration, doing nonprofit work, then I wanted to open my own law firm, and then I was like, okay, let me do like transactional work. I'll work at like a small firm, like, because money was like never the main reason why I went to law school. So I like chose the school that would allow me that flexibility of not thinking so much about my loans and how much I have to pay from for those loans every year. So I was really blessed to have had that opportunity to go to an in-state law school. So think about the debt. Think about the debt. Think about the debt. Three, I do think that if you're thinking about law school and you just want to go just to say that you're a lawyer, I'm like, yo, I really commend you to go and take some gap years, work at a law firm, speak to lawyers, reach out to them through LinkedIn. Just ask them, like, do they like their work? How is their work responsibilities every day? Do you take vacations? Like, really think very, like, I feel like the law, it's so, of course, it's so glamorized because it's an honorable career, and to be a lawyer is to be a lawyer, right? Like, it's just such a, prestigious career, but it does come with some reality. So I do want you to think about it being more than just, I'm going to become a lawyer. Okay. So that's it. Those are all my thoughts. I hope none of y'all dislike me after this. These are, once again, my opinions only, of nobody else's, of my employers, nothing, nothing, nothing. These are my opinions. And this is coming from someone who has had years of legal experience as a paralegal, has worked throughout law school, and is now working with minimum debt. So, I love you guys so much. Please subscribe, comment, and like, and let me know what other videos. Thank you so much for subscribing. We're at. So I love ya. Thank you. Ciao. Until the next time.